learn the secret to eating clean, even if you have little ones at home, or maybe you have a partner or a roommate who is not necessarily 100% on the clean eating train with you? Well, I'm going to be sharing those secrets with you today. So the big thing when I was growing up, I'm one of 5, and my mom always said, she's like, look, you're either going to eat what I put on your plate or you're going to starve. We never starved, but when I created Get Fit Now back in 2009, I wanted to figure out a way that, busy women could stick to a realistic meal plan. And one of the things that I looked at was if you have, if you have little ones at home, like I said, if you have a partner or spouse who is not going to eat, everything that necessarily is on your clean eating plan, what can you do? Because it can get really overwhelming if you're sitting there trying to cook 2 separate dinners and different lunches. That's just not something that you can stick to in the long run. And as we've talked about in the past, consistency is key. So we want to make sure that we are helping you develop clean eating habits that you can stick with in the long run, because that's what's going to give you those lasting results and get you off that roller coaster for good. So let's talk about what to do. There are several different recipes that you can make where you can still satisfy even the pickiest eaters in your household while still staying on track when it comes to your clean eating. And when I'm saying clean eating, I know I keep saying that. What in the heck does that mean, Emily? Clean eating means you're just sticking with lean protein, fruits, and veggies. So making healthy swaps, let's say it is spaghetti night in your house. You could make, do your turkey meat. You could pick a very, low sugar, low carb, low calorie dressing. Heck, and picking your red sauce. So finding a healthy choice as far as your red sauce. Make sure you're checking out those food labels. Refer back to the previous video I posted. I've got it on YouTube that shows you how to read one of those food labels. And then as far as the pasta, for yourself, you could make yourself a spaghetti squash. So you throw that in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes, and then you literally grate it and it turns into like noodles. But if you have little ones, or like I said, somebody else in the household who's not going to eat that, you could still make them some wheat pasta as well. So you're not having to make separate meals. You're just making, your protein is staying the same. You're just cooking those separate veggies. And you could use that spaghetti squash later on in the week for some of your other meal prep. If it's taco night, you could go ahead and make your taco mix. Mrs. Dash makes a really delicious taco seasoning. We also love paleo. We also love Flavor God, which is the first paleo-proof spice to hit the market, and they have a really great taco seasoning that's 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar. So check that out. So when you're making those tacos, you could, mix up your meat. You can even sneak some veggies in, and sometimes if you chop them up fine enough, people won't really notice in your household. So that's a great way to help make sure everybody is getting their veggies in. And then when it comes to the taco shells, you could use lettuce wraps. You grab one of those iceberg lettuce, you peel back the lettuce wraps, you get yourself some nice little wraps, and then you can make them taco shells. So again, you're cooking one dinner, but you're just switching up that carb source. So you're still getting to eat with them. They're not going to complain. They're going to eat what you put on the table, and you're not creating a bunch of extra work for yourself. Another example is doing something like a shepherd's pie. I don't know if you're familiar with shepherd's pie, but you would cook your either lean ground beef or turkey. You would put your veggies in the middle, and then traditionally on a shepherd's pie, you put mashed potatoes on top. What I do is I will make half of my tray with mashed potatoes, and the other half I'll make cauliflower mashed potatoes. So I'll eat that half, and then Dustin, he won't eat cauliflower mashed potatoes, so I'll give him the other half that has those regular potatoes. Again, that is actually making one dish, and then you're getting the half that has the cauliflower mash on it, and then the mashed potatoes are on the other half for those little ones or anybody else who's staying in your household. So I want you to start thinking in terms of those swaps. Like I said, you don't have to sit there making, separate meals. That's not something you're going to be able to consistently stick with in the long run. You just want to be thinking of ways you can swap out some of those carb sources, and you can still use the same protein and same veggie items to satisfy even the pickiest eaters in your household.